Hello students, it's Miss Cruz again. I wanted to touch base about the application for Texas A&M. We have a few students who are interested in going to A&M, so I wanted to talk more into detail about that application. So we're going to go over to www.applytexas.org. Once you do that, this page will come up. Again, that is www.applytexas.org. Once you get to this page, it will ask you to either create an account or log into your account. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, it'll have your account dashboard. It'll show you what applications you're working on and whether you have submitted or still on a specific page, such as the Sam Houston. The last time we worked on an application, it was Sam Houston's, and we never actually submitted. So make sure that your application is not sitting as such, because that says that it has not been submitted. I'm going to go ahead and start a new blank application for Texas A&M. Create a new app for your university app. I'm going to select Texas A&M as our campus we're going to be applying to. Application type is always going to be Freshman US. Semester of entry, that means when do you plan to start college? Ours is going to be fall of 2021. Continue. First choice of major. What do you plan to study at Texas A&M? I'm going to go ahead and pick, let's see, I'm going to do business, and second choice of major, I'm going to do economics. And like I mentioned before, students, the BA and BS, the difference between the two is that one is Bachelor's of Arts and Science, and then the other one is Bachelor's of Science, meaning one of them is focused more on the arts and literature side versus the BS, where it has more science-based courses. So again, that just depends on you, whether you like science or not, or whether you go into the literature side of the bachelor's degree of economics. I'm going to leave mine as Bachelor's of Arts and Science. I'm going to continue that. Here at the bottom, it tells you what page we're at and what we'll be working on as we move along into the application. Again, like I said, the application, the admission application itself, the scholarship section, and then the essay. I'm going to continue to my app. It's going to ask about your social security number. If you don't have it, it's okay. You can always skip over it. And then again, all of this information here is just what we had inputted when you created your account. You're only going to answer the ones that are empty or still missing a response, such as here, family background. It's going to ask about your parents' education level. If you don't want to answer that, just go ahead and do unknown, not applicable. But for me, I'm just going to put no high school. Mom, no high school. Ethnicity and race, again, this is just all optional. You don't have to unless it has a little red star by it. 17 and 18 are required. It's going to ask about Texas conservatorship, and it's going to ask whether you are in any foster care in Texas. And then again, do you allow them to send you messages about higher education information? So again, that's really up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put no and no for me. So this one's saying that I have not verified if my address is correct. I'm going to say I have verified my permanent address is correct. And then I forgot to do the county and where I'm at. So I'm going to put Brazos. We are in Brazos County. And that should allow me to move forward. Save changes. Okay, and if you look over here on your left side, it's going to tell you where we're at as far as the application itself. Okay, so this here is asking, is your name and your date of birth, is it correct? I'm gonna say yes. Like I said, students, make sure that your name and your date of birth, if you have two last names, make sure that you include two last names, because it is very difficult to get that name changed once it has been submitted to the university. Remember that if you register for your SAT with one last name and you actually have two last names at the university, they are not going to be able to merge those test scores, or like I said, it will be very difficult to merge those. So make sure that that you provide your full legal name. I'm going to say yes to that. Save it. And again, it's just going to ask general questions about family income. Do you speak any other language other than English? Household size is required. I'm going to put 6. So again, these are all optional questions. You can answer them if you wish. Supplemental parent information. This is just asking about one of your parents. If you want to provide, or you have to provide one of your parents. So or a guardian, or stepfather or stepmother, whoever's your guardian or your parent. I'm gonna put mother. I'm gonna just make up a name real quick. Okay, and then is this person still living? I'm gonna put yes. Does this person live? Do you live with this person? I'll put yes. That way I don't have to input a different address. Unless your parent or guardian lives at a different address, then you put that. But other than that, majority of the time it stays as yes. I'm gonna save that. Are you a freshman with college credits or no previous credits? If you don't know whether you have college course credits, that's fine. Whenever the university receives your transcripts, they'll be able to see that. But again, if you don't know the answer to this, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to put no previous. Now it's going to ask about your high school, which high school you're at. I'm going to do, so either you can input the information or you can just do find your high school. For me, it's always easier just to do the find your high school. James Earl Cutter. Country, US, city, Ryan, and submit. It should be one of the first ones that populates on the screen. So I'm going to click on James Earl Cutter High School. Expected graduation date, I'm going to go ahead and select May of 2021. Are you homeschooled? No. Do you plan to graduate an IB diploma? We don't have this program here at Ritter, so I'm going to put no. And then again, this one doesn't pertain to you, so I'm going to skip over it. This here, please list all current or previous college universities you have attended. You don't necessarily have to put all this here, this information. You can go ahead and skip over it. Majority of the times, the high school will provide that information to the university. So again, don't worry too much about this section of the application. Are you currently on an academic suspension? Again, this doesn't pertain to us, so you can skip over it. Early high school graduate. Do you expect to graduate early from high school? That depends on the student. I'm not sure if any of y'all are, but if y'all are, like I said, just go ahead and answer that as best you can. I'm going to put no. If you plan to pursue a pre-professional program, meaning are you trying to become a doctor, you're trying to become a nurse, a veterinarian, a physical therapist, you're trying to become a pharmacist. So again, this is pertaining to the pre-professional programs. If you are, you're just going to go ahead and select it. I'm going to go ahead and do pre-law. Are you trying to become a teacher at some point? I'm going to put no, but if you put yes, it'll ask about what grade level, what grade do you want to be a teacher. And so again, you just select the level. I'm going to put no for me. Senior course, as mentioned earlier, senior course is just going to ask about your classes you're taking your senior year, meaning your first semester and second semester. So for example, you're going to do English, I'm going to do AP, do first and second because it's a full year. I'm going to do government. I'm going to do the AP only first semester, because government and economics are split into 2 semesters. spell that. Economics, I'm going to do AP, I'm going to do second semester, or vice versa. I'm not sure how your schedule is going to be, but again, you input in how you have it on your schedule. And then so on and so forth. Do you have to include sports? I always include sports. I'm going to put volleyball because that's still a course that you're taking. I'm going to put first and second. So again, what about office aid? I have office aid. I'm going to put office aid, that way they are aware that that I am doing something on the classes, so that they won't say, why does she have 4 classes only and she doesn't have anything else here. So I'm going to put office aid. I'm going to put it for first semester. What if you work? If you work and you have to be released to work, I'm going to put work release. That way they know that, again, that I'm working. I'm going to put it for second semester. So again, first semester I'm an office aid. That second semester they have approved me for work release. That way I can work the second semester. But again, that, like I said, that just depends on how your schedule is going to be this semester and next semester. Save changes. It's going to ask about SAT or ACT test scores. If you have taken them, great. If you're not going to take them, that's fine. There is no penalties for taking the test and you don't score high enough. So again, they want this for scholarship purposes, so be aware of that. Just because you're putting your SAT or ACT and you don't like your scores, they are not going to penalize you for that. But if you have taken it and you like your scores, go ahead and place it there. I'm going to say I took the ACT and I took it back in let's see, I took it in February of this year, 2020. And then I'm going to take the SAT, like it's either date you plan to take or you have taken. So I plan to take mine in September of this year. So that's this last two you don't mess with, because we don't take those tests. But for these two, like I said, you only answer the one that pertains to you. If you're not taking it, that's perfectly fine as well. During the 12 months prior to the term of which you're applying, did you attend a public college or university in Texas? No, we have not. Even though you're doing dual credit, that's not being considered a student at university. You're just doing dual credit, so please don't put that yes and put that no for now. Save and continue to the next. This is going to ask about your residency information. Again, have you lived in Texas for the last 36 months leading up to high school graduation? Yes. And then when you begin the semester of which you're applying, will you have lived in Texas for the previous 12 months? I'm going to put yes. And then these are just the questions and answers that we just went over. So I'm going to go ahead and save page and continue. Now it brings me to the extracurricular and volunteering activities. This is where it gets very detailed. It'll ask about any extracurricular activities you participate in. It asks you about community service or volunteer, any talents and awards, honors. So again, this is where it gets detailed, and this is where it takes a lot more time to complete. Now, I do not recommend for you to put yes, I am submitting a separate resume. Because that's when things get confusing and you forget that you still are missing you're missing to submit your resume. I highly recommend that you go ahead and insert it here versus submitting a separate resume. I'm going to go down to the bottom. So again, it's just going to ask about the organization you participated in, your description for it. I'm going to put from an organization, and this is something that we are including anything from freshman up to your senior year, whether your activities was here on campus or off campus. So for me, I'm going to do soccer. I mean, that's my organization. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put Riddle Heights soccer team. Description, I'm going to put senior, or I'm not sure how they classify it here, but I'm just going to put high school sports, and I'm gonna select sophomore and junior year. I'm gonna put my position. I'm gonna put field, and again, you have to put your position, what position you held and when you played soccer. Were you elected? No, I was not. It was just something I volunteered to be in. I'm gonna put no. Activity level, mine's gonna be district. Hours per week that I participated in soccer, I'm gonna put let's see, every day after school, at least for an hour, so I'll say 5 hours per week. How many weeks per year? I'm gonna say around 30, because that just depends on how many weeks per year in a school year. So again, just if it's half that, and if you only did a semester, you can always just put 20. Well, you can just put 12. So again, that's the way we're gonna do it. So I mean, you may want to double check how many weeks in a year. I don't even know that myself, but again, just double check that, how many weeks per year. And then if you only did it for a semester, then you're gonna cut that in half as far as the weeks. Same thing for the hours per week. It doesn't have to be the exact hours you participated in. Just give them more or less an idea what it was. That way you have something to put there. I'm gonna put the same thing here for me. That's all I did. But like I said, if you have more organizations you did outside of school, perfect. That's even including any church activities that you participated in. Remember, guys, that everything and anything counts. Remember, we want your application to stand out, because they're not going to be looking at your SAT scores or ACT. So everything that you put here will be looked at and considered. So again, please be sure to put as much as you can, whatever you can remember, whether it's on campus or off campus. Community service, again, do try to remember what services you've done. Remember, it's something that you have done from freshman up to senior year, nothing from middle school. So this is only high school level. I'm gonna say I did can drive. I'm gonna put Kroger's. I'm gonna put can drive. I know that some students do can drives, whether it's here on campus or you could do, like I said, just it depends on with a high school can drive. But remember, it has to be something that you did have done and you did not get paid for it. But if you got paid for it, that's not considered volunteer. Can drive, I'm gonna say a total of hours I did the drive. I'm gonna say it was only 2 hours. I don't remember. I think it was before November, because it had to be the can drive for Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna say October of last year, 2019, until October, or I'm gonna say November 2020 of 2019. So that kind of gives them an idea of when I actually did my community service. But again, students, remember that you have to input information correctly here when asked for place of service, whether it was here on campus with your organization or it was something off campus with an organization. Just be specific about it. The description of what you did, whether that was a can drive or reading to students, whatever you can think of or whatever you did. I know there's a lot of opportunities for volunteering, whether it was with an organization or something that you did on your own. Remember, it doesn't have to be with somebody with an organization outside of school. It can have been something that you did on your own without getting paid for it. Maybe you cut the grass for a neighbor for free, and you want to count those hours. If you spent your summer vacation cutting grass for somebody for free, let them know that. Place of service, you can put the individual's location. You don't have to necessarily put the address. You could just put just the street maybe, and then you could put the description of what you did, whether that was cutting grass or cleaning their yard, or cleaning their house, whatever you can think of. Like I said, even if you did community service for walking a dog for free, but again, guys, remember that this is something that you did, and it wasn't something that somebody asked you to do and you didn't get paid for it. So remember, we're trying to be as honest as we can whenever we submit this application. Gonna go down to the bottom, talents and awards and honors. This is something that not a lot of students fill in because they forget what they have received since freshman year, and I hope that you already have a folder with some of this information there. Remember, everything that you put in here is being considered. Anything and everything helps. Right here, it kind of gives you an idea what kind of how you can fill it in. Same thing for over here, tells you more or less how to fill it in. But again, if you take a look at that, that somehow that gives you an idea. But for me, I'm gonna put the award. I'm gonna put A and B, honor roll. Description, I'm gonna put academic performance. I'm gonna put it for freshman, sophomore year. For the level, I'm gonna put district. And then what else can I put? I can put student of the month, attendance award. You may want to put academic performance award. Remember, I know that some teachers will give out certificates at some point. So again, whatever you can think of that you have been awarded, whether that was in sports, in your organizations, if you were awarded as president of the school year, like I said, anything that you have received will count towards it. So again, don't forget to include that here, especially if you here also, now that I remember, make sure that you include organizations such as Key Club, if you're president of your campus, of your class. So again, all of that counts. Just don't forget that that's what or if you're a treasurer of your class, again, all of that is counting here. Don't forget to add that. Again, students, there's a lot of things that you can input, but we don't want you to forget any of it because we want this application to stand out. Back to the talents, awards, honors. Again, you can put as much as you can here, whether it was awards given here or outside of high school. Again, it just depends. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Save progress. So it's kicking me out. It says I'm missing something. Let's see, what am I missing? Save and proceed. It tells me here, all applicant award information 2 must be complete. So I clicked on it. When you click on this here, it'll take you to the part where you have an error. Okay, so I forgot to do my grade level, the years. So I'm gonna say I got it in my sophomore year only, and I'm gonna just put district. Save progress. Let's see if it'll pick me up. Okay, I saved it there. That way it saves. And in case I need to come back and edit more, I can always add more. Save page. Now it moved me over to employment internship summer. If you had a job position throughout the summer or any high school level, by all means go ahead and insert it here. Here I'm going to put the specific job or job title. I'm going to put let's see, I'm going to put cashier. I'm going to put Kroger's. And then I'm going to put how many hours per week. I think I would just do 2 courses. I'm going to say I did only 8 hours per week. From what month to what month. And this is where it starts, you have to remember what you did for everything. So I'm just going to put, let's see, I'm going to put September of last year till April of this year, 2020. And again, you're just going to list them, here. Whatever position you had. If you didn't have any position, you didn't work, that's fine. Just go ahead and skip over it. Save changes. Okay, so now it's going to come up to the question for this institution. If you look at the bottom, these here, these are the things that we're going to go over, all the questions that they're going to ask you, and you're going to either acknowledge them or just skip over them. If it says optional, it's optional, you don't have to answer it. But if it says required, that means we have to answer the question. So the first one, cadets, is the first one up, so they are here. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. It's just asking whether you are interested in learning more about the Corps of Cadets. I'm going to put no, I'm not. I'm going to save acknowledge question, and then the next question goes up here, and then you're just going to read it. Like I told you, this is optional, you don't have to answer, so I'm going to save and acknowledge that. Then the next question goes up. Here it is. Communication method. Do you allow A&M to send you email address or phone number information? So again, is that, like I said, just go ahead and read it. They'll tell you more about the information they're trying to release to you. I'm gonna agree to receiving text messages, and then save, acknowledge, and then so on and so forth. Like I said, you have to answer all of these questions. So I'm gonna try to just answer something real quick. Save and acknowledge. I'm gonna put NA for this one. Make sure you read it, because if it tells you, if it doesn't apply to you, make sure that you put NA if it doesn't apply. Okay, and this gives you your freshman application checklist. Make sure you acknowledge this. This is something that they're telling you in advance what's going to be needed, what steps you're going to need to complete. But again, guys, it says required, so please read over this. Don't just save and acknowledge because it's giving you important information. That's why it's required. So again, I'm going to save and acknowledge. Honors program is optional. As I mentioned before, honors program is basically it's like taking AP classes in college. You'll have more assignments to do compared to regular students. So that's the better way of seeing what honors programs is. It's just you taking more assignments compared to a regular student. For me, I'm just going to put no answer. I don't know. Bacterial meningitis vaccine. Students, a reminder that you need that vaccine. Without that vaccine, you will not be accepted in. You will not be able to get your classes for A&M. They are either going to require that you submit that bacterial meningitis vaccine record, or you're going to have to provide them with documentation as a reason to not be able to provide that vaccine. But remember that bacterial meningitis vaccine is required for all or most universities and college here in Texas. So again, please take care of that vaccine if you haven't received it. How do you know, or where can you find out whether you have the vaccine? You may want to check with your parents and see if you already received the vaccine, and maybe it's on record and you just need the paper. The paper is basically showing that you received the vaccine. The vaccine cannot have been expired. It can only be 5 years old. If it has been over 5 years since you received the vaccine, then you're gonna have to go get another round of that bacterial meningitis. So again, students, please remember that the bacterial meningitis vaccine is required, and it tells you here where you'll be submitting the documents. So I'm going to go ahead and save and acknowledge that. I'm going to put no for this one. Blend team. Student, no one can apply for blend team. Blend team is something that's being offered to you. I know I have students who say, Ms. Cruz, I want to be part of the blend team. How can I apply? Unfortunately, blend team is not something that you can apply to. It's only assigned to you if for some reason A&M feels that you should be a part of the blend team and not necessarily enroll as a full-time student over at A&M. So again, just a reminder that the blend team is offered to you. I'm going to put yes. I am interested in the program in case I can't get into A&M my freshman year. Okay, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that. And again, highest level math you've completed. I'm just going to put AP. I'm just going to put calculus and pre-calculus for now. Freshman fee waiver request. So in order to submit this application, you need to make a payment in order for the application to be fully submitted. Now, if you get free or reduced lunch, then you qualify for a fee waiver, meaning you will not have to pay that $60 for the application. Yours is going to be waived. So for me, I get free or reduced, so I'm going to go ahead and put eligible for SAT and ECT College Board fee waiver, meaning I do not have to pay that application fee. If you don't get free or reduced lunch, you're going to have to pay that fee at the very end of the app. For me, like I said, I'm gonna select these two because I do qualify for free reduced lunch. If you don't, you're just gonna go ahead and put NA, save and acknowledge that. Acknowledge. Relish Campus is another program that that you would have to apply to. It's not something that it's being offered. That's not something that you can just go over. That you would have to apply for the Relish Campus, and that's a little bit different. But like I said, this is something different that you would have to apply for Relish Campus. I'm gonna put no. I'm not interested in any of Relish Campus programs. I'm going to put COVID-19 impact. This is brand new right here. Natural disaster and emergency situations like COVID-19 pandemic have impacted the lives of many students and their families. While entirely optional, you may share information here regarding how any of these events have affected you or your family's circumstance. So you may want to double check this. I know it is optional, but I highly recommend that you actually go through the list and select one. I'm going to go ahead and say I lost my job. I no longer work at Kroger's because of the COVID. Let's see. My responsibilities have significantly increased since the COVID. Since, in other words, my parents are now, I have responsibility to somewhat provide for my family as well. So I'm gonna save and acknowledge that. Another COVID additional info. Community disruptions such as COVID-19 and natural disasters have kept and long-lasting impacts. If you wish to provide more information concerning those impacts, please do so below. So again, you may want to, if there's something going on in this family that happened, maybe you have your medical bills for a family member who had to go to the hospital because of COVID, and now your parents are stuck with medical bills. By all means, go ahead and insert it here. This is the time. Or maybe you yourself got sick with COVID. Like I said, this is the time to specify that they understand that that there was some type of like I said, impact on the family. I'm gonna save that. Make sure you read that. I'm gonna say yes to it. There's no other option other than yes. Diversity required. Texas A&M University believes that diversity is an important part of academic excellence, and it is essential to living our core values. Describe the benefit of diversity and inclusion for you personally and for Texas A&M campus community. So this is a little bit different. I don't think I've seen this one right here, but you may want to click on the little blue link there just to make sure that you understand diversity before you actually respond to the question. Describe the benefit of diversity and inclusion for you personally and for Texas A&M community. So this is the time for you to share your opinion. So be sure to try to fill this in as best you can. Save and acknowledge. Okay, I'm going to put diversity is important for the community and our students at Texas A&M University. I'm going to save and acknowledge. Honor recognition. Again, it's up to you whether you want to answer that. I'm going to save and acknowledge and save and complete this page. Okay, so we got through the application process itself. We have not done the essay and we have not done the scholarship section, and this is the section we're in. Like I said, we've done admissions, now we're in the scholarship section, and this tells me all the ones that we're going to cover for the scholarship section. Do not skip over this part. This is very important. I cannot stress this enough. I had students who skipped over because they didn't feel like answering. Again, this is the way to apply for scholarships at Texas A&M. Again, this is something that not all students will be able to go back and apply for later. I highly suggest that you submit it now and not wait till till after you submit your application to try to come back and actually submit, because the majority of the time students will not come back to the application to try to submit that application for scholarships. So I'm going to try to give you an idea of how to actually submit the scholarship section. And if you notice, Texas A&M deadline for the Apply Texas Scholarship application is December 1st. So not only do you have to submit your application for A&M, you also have to submit your scholarship section to A&M by this December 1st. Not next year, December of 2020. I'm going to click on Apply for Scholarships. And if you scroll down to the bottom, it tells you not now, apply for scholarships later. Again, try not to click on this button, because I don't want you to skip over it and then forget about it on December 1st. So again, please complete it now. You have the time. Like I said, you got an early start, so you might as well start now. For my counselor, I'm going to put Virginia Rodriguez. Her phone number is going to be 979-209, and I'm going to put the high school number 7900. Save changes. This is going to ask Fafsa and other funds. Do you intend to apply for need-based financial aid through Texas A&M using the free application for federal student aid of Fafsa? During this period, this scholarship section would cover. I'm going to put yes, I am. As always, I highly recommend that we submit your Fafsa. I know I have students who say, Ms. Cruz, my parents make too much money, I'm not going to submit my Fafsa. That is understandable. I understand that, but sometimes the scholarships at the university, in order to qualify for scholarships on campus, you need to submit your Fafsa. So again, guys, please consider submitting that Fafsa. And as I told you before, we will talk more about Fafsa once we get closer to the application when it opens. So again, not worry too much about Fafsa. Just know that we are going to try our best to submit that Fafsa online. Funds for college saved by you. I'm going to go ahead and put 0. I haven't saved any money. Funds for college saved by others. So now here it says saved by you. Now I do have a job, right? I work at Kroger's at part-time. I do earn money, but that doesn't mean that I have saved money. So I'm going to put 0. Funds for college saved by others. My parents work too much, and you know what? They have not even saved. So I'm going to put 0. My parents' projected support annually, 0, because my parents can't haven't saved anything for me. Your marital status, information about you. Your marital status, I am single. I don't think I've had any students at a high school level who are either of these, so this doesn't really pertain. I wouldn't think it would. Your total annual income, I'm going to put 0. Even though I work at Kroger's, I'm going to go ahead and put 0 just because I don't know what my annual income. Your spouse's occupation, if married. Again, this doesn't pertain to you because that says if married. So I'm going to leave it empty. Information about your family. With whom do you currently live? I live with both my parents. Marital status of your parent. Marital status of the persons with whom you live. I'm going to say they are married. Parent 1 information, relationship to you. I'm going to put mom first. Occupation, she let's see, she is a cook. Or I'm going to put, I'm going to put a housewife. Oops. Housewife. Employer, none. She doesn't work, not applicable. Total income, 0. My parent 2, which is my dad, I'm going to put he's a labor worker. He is self-employed. He works in anything that is available to him. Self-employed. I meant to put some self-employed. Total income, he earns annual income, not monthly, not weekly. It's asking for annual. So I'm gonna say, let's see, and like this information here about your parents' income, you may want to touch base with them before guessing the information. Like I said, you may want to touch base with your parents first and ask them how much they earn annually. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the exact dollar amount, as long as you have something that's more or less what it is. I'm gonna get from my parents. Annually, I'm just gonna put 20,000. That he doesn't earn much. Step parents information. I'm gonna skip this one because my parents are 1 and 2, and I don't have a step parent, so I'm not gonna worry about that. And again, if you are living with someone other than your biological adoptive parents, legal guardian, or step parent, please provide this information below. Depending on what you where you're at as far as your status living situation, you don't necessarily have to put this in here. You can go ahead and skip it if you don't feel comfortable releasing that. But again, if you do have your parents and your biological parents and they're there with you, you may want to provide that. But if not, like I said, you don't have to if you don't have any biological or adoptive parent, legal guardian, or step parent. Like I said, if you don't have that to provide, then go ahead and skip over it. Please provide information for all children under the 25 years of age in your family other than yourself. So all children under the age of 25 go in here. Okay, so you're just gonna ask their name, age, the school they're at, whether it's elementary level or middle school, high school, or if they're in a 2-year university. If they're at 2-year, you're just gonna put Flint. If they're at Sam Houston, you just put Sam Houston. If they're at elementary level, then you're just gonna put not in college. Leave it as not in college. Self-supporting, no. So majority of these are all gonna be no's for self-supporting. Save and continue. Now it's switched over to the scholarships. National Merit Scholarship. Have you received any scholarships since since you've been in high school? For me, I don't have any. I tend to apply, but I don't have any. I haven't been awarded. So again, you don't have to put this in here if you don't have anything yet that you have applied or that you have received. I don't want them to think that that you already are receiving something when in fact you haven't even applied or even submitted anything. So again, please, if you don't have anything, don't put anything. Right? If you are thinking about applying, that still doesn't go in here. This is only if you have already applied, or if you have received any scholarships or grants. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to put this. I'm gonna go ahead and save this page. Now it goes into your short responses for scholarships. Make sure that you pay attention to what it says. It says, please explain any special circumstance that could affect your family's ability to pay for college expenses. You can put here anything that you can think of. Maybe your parents are, financially in a burden situation. They don't have a ways to pay, especially with this COVID situation. Maybe both your parents lost their jobs, or a family member got sick and your parents are having to pay their bills, or maybe your parents had to support another family. They brought them into the household so they can help that other family get back onto their feet. So again, anything that you can think of, or maybe it's a single parent household and you're having to help work for to help pay the bills. Maybe it's a single parent with the 3-4 kids, and mom can't make it and she's trying her best. And so this is the time for you to explain that as best you can, because again, this is what they'll be looking at when it comes to scholarships. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and put something real quick. A single parent household, and like I said, try to be as detailed as possible, as much as it allows you to. Okay, so again, we strongly encourage you to put something there. Why have you chosen Texas A&M? Please don't put something like, because it's down the road, or because everybody wants to go there, or because it'll save me money. I don't have to. Make sure that you put something such as they offer my degree plan. It's a better suited. I have the knowledge that they have the program that'll help me get further in my education. So again, please put something other than because you wanna follow the steps of your siblings. We want it to be something different, something unique, an actual reason why you want to go to Texas A&M. So it won't be something repetitive that all students put, because it's here and it'll save you money. Don't put something that we already know. We want to know something different from you. Maybe it'll help you grow. It'll help you grow as an individual. You'll learn more. You'll become more independent. Texas A&M has offered you, different clubs and organizations you can participate. So again, think about something unique. Don't think of something that every student is putting on their scholarship section. Remember, you're trying to get money, and so this is a chance that you have to share that. Why have you chosen the major in business and economics? Here, guys, remember, don't put something like I want to own my own business. We want you to expand. We want you to say something as, I've heard that the business department at Texas A&M is great. It will allow me to study abroad so that I can learn the business field. So again, think about the other way of thinking, not because you heard that it's a good business department. Why is it a good business department? It's because they're going to allow you to expand. They're going to allow you to study abroad, where you'll be able to meet new people. So things like that. Remember, try to say something that that'll stand out, not something that every student is saying. Educational plans. Describe any educational plans you have beyond earning a bachelor's degree. So this is where you'll put whether you're going to go back to school to receive your master's degree, or you'll be getting your certification in a particular field in business. Again, remember, guys, you want to expand on this. Let them know that you're wanting to get you want to further your education, whether that's going to get your master's degree at Texas A&M, or getting your certification. So again, it just depends on what field you're in. Whether that's business, engineering, agriculture. Again, that really depends on you. But like I said, try to say something different. Don't put something that every student is putting, because this is all for try to get scholarships. What are some life goals? Your careers may include any educational, professional, or personal goals. So again, guys, here, even though it sounds like it's pretty easy, I just wanna own my own business. That's good. Like I said, let's put something more as firsthand what it is to provide for your family. You want to be able to be the role model to your younger siblings, to be able to provide for your future family. You want to be able to excel. You want to be a well-known business owner that will be able to give back to our community. So again, think about those things. That it's not just I just want to graduate from Texas A&M because I'm the first one. We understand that, but we want something unique that's going to stand out compared to other students. So remember, when you're fitting this in, if it means for you to save here and come back to it later, do that. I highly recommend that you save these topics on Word or on your Google Doc. That way you can go in there and just work on those little quick responses. And remember, these are quick responses. This is not an essay format. It tells you here how many character lines. It's a very short, quick response. So I'm telling you that when you put something here, it has to be quick, to the point, but yet it has to be something that stands out compared to other students. So again, guys, please take the time to respond to this as best you can. I'm going to go ahead and save changes for now. Available scholarships. So here it's going to ask you about scholarships. Which scholarships are you interested in? And here, if you click on them, it just tells you a little bit more about this scholarship and in general. Again, they have different scholarships, but again, for this one, it's like I said, you just have to read through there. Again, this is another academic merit opportunity award. So again, these are scholarships that are considered. You're going to be considered for if you are interested in any of this. So again, you're going to be automatically considered for these scholarships. So again, we're not going to do anything with those. That's just letting you know that you're going to be automatically considered for these. Now, University College Scholarship Selectable. This is telling you that which scholarship are you interested in. If you are not familiar with any of these, what you can do is just going to click on the little blue link, and it gives you more detail about it, okay? And it tells you the scholarship requirement for it. And if you notice, this has SAT requirements on it, ACT. So again, that's the reason we're saying to take those SAT, ECT, because you may need it for scholarship purposes. I'm going to close that out real quick. And again, like I said, you're just going to click on them and see which one best suits you. And this one, just like I said, tells you 3-letter recommendations. It may ask that you interview for the Terry Scholarship. Again, short responses that you need to complete. So again, make sure that you read through it, because it is going to give you more information about what you need to do as far as requirements and additional documents. But again, I think I'm interested in the foundation only. Major specific scholarship. This means that your specific department. So if you're in the Department of Business, obviously if you look here, it doesn't say Department of Business. So you're just going to click on college and department scholarships. So in other words, all students who are applying for scholarship are going to select this one, because that's saying that you want any scholarships that are within your department that you have chosen. So this is that. But if you're in the chemical engineering, then you're going to be selecting the chemical engineering scholarships. For me, I'm just going to click this one. I'm going to save changes. If you notice, we're almost done with the scholarship section. And again, if you go down to the bottom, it's going to have more questions for you to acknowledge, and then it'll, like I said, it'll go up and then come down this way that you have acknowledged it, and then the next one goes up and down it goes. Required, again, like I said, you have to read through these. I'm going to go in right in quickly in there and just answer them so that we can move on to the essay part. I'm going to put no. Like I said, I'm just putting any answer for right now, guys. I highly recommend that you read it, and don't just put don't put the answers that I'm putting, because I'm just answering so that I can move on to the next. Like I said, this is pretty extensive, so you're not gonna sit down and finish it on one sitting. I don't recommend it. I recommend that you take breaks, that you think about what you're inputting, hobbies and interests. And this is something that you can put. It doesn't have to be anything, professional or anything. I'm gonna put listen to music, drawing, landscape. Yeah, don't put just drawing. You can put drawing, landscape, or something specific, or watercolor, like say water painting, murals, whatever you want, clay. So again, it just depends. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put research online. Research online for I'm gonna just research online for now, because I can't even think about it right now. I'm gonna save it, acknowledge, and when you get to the point to where I can't even think anymore, then that's when you want to take a break and recuperate, and then come back to this and then restart. I don't want you to force yourself to finish this because you feel that you need to finish now. That is absolutely wrong. As I always told you, it's not about who submits it first. It's about who submits the questions best answered versus who submits it fast. So remember, it's about what you input, not what time or when you submit it. I'm gonna save and acknowledge. Terry scholars, siblings. Did you have any siblings who are current or former Terry scholars? Terry Scholar is a scholarship. So if you don't know what that is, or your family members never went to Terry, so more likely it's none neither. But if you've had somebody who received the Terry Scholar, then you're gonna put yes, or whoever it pertains to. I'm gonna put yes. My sibling is current Terry, former scholarship. And then again, I don't know if you remember, but I had selected the Terry's. I had selected the Terry Scholarship. So because I did that, it's gonna ask that I submit an essay. The SAA is required for the Terry leadership essay. So, or for the scholarship, for the Terry Scholarship, the SAA is required. So they're just letting you know for you to acknowledge that. FEA leadership. This is another scholarship that requires an SAA. And remember, you're gonna do SAA regardless. So don't stress out, oh, I have to do another essay. Not necessarily. You still have to submit SAA, but they'll be looking at that for scholarships as well. So do you have any dependent children required. Do you have any parent who is employed by Texas A&M or has been employed at the university for at least 2 years? And then again, you're just going to provide their information. If you don't have anybody working, any family member that's worked at Texas A&M, you can just put NA or not applicable as your answer. Student cell phone numbers required. I'm going to put NA for now just because I don't want to put my personal cell. Early college, high school, again, like I said, I'm just going to skip over these. Like I said, make sure that you're reading through them, not just answering. Okay, and scholarship checklist, make sure you read this again. It's telling you what you have to submit. It's not something that you're just gonna save and acknowledge. Pay attention to what it's telling you. It's telling you need to complete the Apply Texas Scholarship section. You need to submit your essay topic A. Again, your non-refundable application fee. Your self-reported academic, and then like I said, I'll let you know more about this one whenever the time comes around. Official high school transcript, official SAT. Again, like I said, A&M doesn't require SAT or ACT for admission purposes, but they do need it for scholarships. So again, this is all we need to complete for you to be considered a full applicant versus not submitting these. Especially the self-reported academic record is very important, but I'll show you more about that later on. Save and acknowledge that. I'm going to save and acknowledge, save and complete. And now we're in the essay section finally. The essay section, you may want to read through this. Don't just, do as I'm doing it, because I've seen this application process. That's why I'm just clicking left and right. But for you, make sure that you read and not just going through it. Texas A&M require applicants to write an essay for each of the following topics labeled required. Okay, make sure you read because it's telling you what to do. Topic A is required, and it says no essay on file. And then the topics right here: tell us a story. What unique opportunities or challenges have you experienced throughout your high school career that have shaped you who you are today? Now, when you write this essays, with this essay, make sure that you pick a topic that you know that you can expand on. Try not to pick a topic that that you're unable to expand or be able to talk about, because when I do ask the students to tell me an opportunity or a challenge that they have experienced, they don't know much of how to explain it or how to get across it. So make sure that you pick something that you're able to expand and that you feel free to share. But again, some ideas on what topics to write about. Maybe you again, it really depends on you. I normally talk to students individually and try to get them to tell me a unique challenge or opportunity that they had to face throughout high school, and how did they get across that challenge or obstacle, again, to be who they are today. We had students who said that they didn't care about their education at the beginning of the freshman year. They were getting into trouble, and they didn't realize what they had until something happened in their family, where they realized that the person that they cared for the most was no longer there for them, and that they saw it as an opportunity to do something, not only for themselves but in honor of their lost one. So again, think about things like that, something different, something unique. Try not to go into such as I was in sports or high school levels, and it helped me build who I am. So we know a lot of these topics, we know that we do have students who put that, so we want to gear off that. Don't put something that that we know that is going to help you. We want to know something different, a different opportunity that you have gotten. Maybe you had the opportunity to see something different in someone else. It changed you who you are today. Maybe it took someone else to change you who you are. Maybe you had to work harder this summer. Maybe you had to see the how your parents are struggling and who they made you, or maybe your parents encouraged you, motivate you to become a different person. Or I don't know, like I said, every individual is different. They have their own stories. Only you can get that story out about yourself, and the challenges that you have faced throughout high school, or the opportunities that you have faced. So again, it doesn't have to be something negative. It can be something positive. Um, Maybe you had the opportunity to go abroad. Maybe you visited another country with your organization, with your church, and you had the chance to, see how others live, and that's what made you become different, to focus more, on how you want to be successful. So things like that, guys. Remember, think outside the box. Try not to stick with, I was involved in varsity football, and it made me who I am today. Like I said, we already know that we want something different, and so that's the best advice I can give you when it comes to essay topics. If you want more ideas, or if you need help getting a topic out or ideas, let me know, and I can talk to you individually and try to get an idea what to write about, and pretty much come up with a rough draft. And like I said, feel free to share that essay with me, or the Yagi mentors. They're more than happy to read through your essay and give you an idea of what to write about or what changes we should make. Here's another one, a supplemental leadership essay. Remember, we picked the scholarship that required a supplemental leadership essay, so this one doesn't have it here. We haven't submitted, so it's going to say required on it, and then no essay on file. Same thing for this one, no essay on file. Okay, and like I said, make sure that you read these instructions, how to submit your essay. I'm going to go ahead and click on enter at topic A. And when you write your essay, you may want to write it on the Google Doc or on Word, somewhere where you can go back and edit, versus coming here, enter topic A, and trying to type it in here, because again, you need to come back to it and edit and look at it and make sure it's good to go. Remember, this year they're not looking at your SAT or ECT. They're looking at your essay, they're looking at your GPA, your rank, your extracurricular activities, your letter of recommendations, and so on and so forth. So again, please, the essay, make sure you type it out elsewhere before you come in here and actually insert it. But again, you're just going to insert it here, and then you're going to do review format essay. It's not going to let me put yes on here because I don't have an essay yet. I'm going to put something real quick so that maybe it'll let me review format essay, and it's going to look something like this. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for you, but it's going to have your essay here. It's going to ask you to go back and edit essay. I'm going to actually save, and I will submit it later. Okay, and here it says it's saved but not submitted. Okay, now do you have to do anything else here? No, that means your essay's on file. It just hasn't been submitted because we haven't continued at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my other essay as well. This one says, how do you show leadership in your life? How do you see yourself being a leader at Texas A&M? And then it gives you a tip here. Okay, and the limit of your response is 250 to 300 words. Now for the essay A, I didn't mention to you how long does the essay have to be. No more than 2 pages long. Not more than that, because I don't see an admission counselor sitting down and reading a 4-page essay. So make sure that you try to do it a 2-page essay, and when you submit it in there, same thing for this one. This one tells you 250 to 300 words. I think it's about a page. So remember, whatever you put in here, make sure that it's being copied and pasted from another document. It's not something that you input here as you move along, because this is where you'll be able to make mistakes. And remember, I cannot stress that enough, this is where they'll be looking at your essay format. You don't want to make a mistake on the spelling, because that's something that could have been simply avoided if you would have done it on Word or on your doc. You could have seen that mistake and made those corrections prior, instead of coming in here and overlooking those mistakes. So again, highly suggest that you save it elsewhere and then come back and paste it. I'm going to save my essay. Okay, and if you look at the top, it says essay successfully saved. I'm going to go return to Texas A&M app. Now it says here, saved, not submitted, saved, not submitted, but they are already in here on my account. I have saved all required essays. I'm gonna save it. Remember, if you selected more scholarships that require essays, then those essays are gonna also appear here. So if there's a blue link, it's because there's essays required for different scholarships. Okay, so remember that. I'm gonna go ahead to the bottom and I'm gonna do, I have saved all required essays. Okay, so if yours pops up as and it tells you here your application is not yet ready to submit. So this one tells me my email has not been verified. Okay, so that means you need to go check your email and verify that that email that you provided to them is correct. So that's the reason I asked for you to provide an email that you can verify, because they're going to ask you to go back in there and verify your email. So again, I'm not going to have them resend it, neither do I want to verify my email yet, because again, this is just a dummy application. It's not an actual app. So again, so here I'm going to go down to the bottom and it says for me to acknowledge my notifications. You're just going to check, and then you're going to do yes, transcript, yes, application sharing. Should you be denied admission to a particular degree program to which you applied, do you allow the institution to share your application for admission with other institutions that offer the degree program? So in other words, if you happen to apply for business department at Texas A&M and you happen to not to get into the department, is it okay for Texas A&M to share your application to other colleges that offer the department of business, and hopefully you can jump on board over there? So in other words, guys, just because you're top 10%, it does not mean that you'll be admitted into any department such as business and engineering, things like that, because it is very competitive. So again, just because you are top 10, that does not mean you're going to get into the department of your choosing. So that's just an FYI. And if you're confused about that, let me know. Again, being top 10 means that you're going to get admitted into A&M, but it does not mean that you're going to get into the program that you're seeking. So again, remember that. Please don't get confused. I've had students who are top 10 and didn't get into their business program, and that was the result of their SATs not being high enough for the Department of Business. So they had to go into the general studies major. So again, if this year is a little bit different, we're not providing SAT scores, so they'll be looking holistically at your application. They'll be considering everything else. I don't know how that's going to work if you're top 10%, but again, we know you'll be getting, if you're top 10%, we know you'll be getting into A&M. We just don't know what it's going to look like when you try to get into the department of your choosing. So that's just an FYI, so you have a heads up in case you apply to A&M and you happen to not get into the degree of your choosing. So again, we'll find out later as to what the reasons are, but just an FYI for that one. And again, that's just letting you know that you have completed your essay. Check mark. And here it says your application fee for fall 2021 semester is $75. So in other words, in order to submit your application, you have to pay that $75 fee. As mentioned earlier, if you get free or reduced lunch, you do not have to pay that $75. This will be free for you. And how do you make that free? At the bottom right here, it says request for Fee Waiver. So you're going to select that. For students who don't get free or reduced, are going to have to make that payment via credit card information. Again, you'll select that information there. And if you choose not to pay your application through Apply Texas, you can always choose to pay the university in a different way. But again, I highly suggest just through here. It'll be easier versus you having to go back and try to figure out, where am I supposed to submit that payment, when you could have just submitted here. But again, students with free or reduced do not pay this. They're gonna go ahead and request for Fee Waiver. Now, what happens after you submit your application? Well, once you submit your application, and it tells you here where to send the money order if you choose not to pay with credit card. It tells you right here. Make sure you take a picture of that, save it for future references. Include your name, semester application ID. In other words, once you submit your application on your dashboard, it'll tell you what the ID number to your application is, and I'll show you in a little bit. Application essays, make sure that as your essays are inputted, it'll ask you to acknowledge that you have submitted your essays. Now, what happens after you submit your application? Well, like I said, you have to check your email. Please check your emails. A&M, any campus, any university, all universities will let you know via email if there's documents missing from your application, whether that's your fee waiver, your fee waivers, transcripts, anything like that. If anything is missing, they'll let you know via email. So which email? The email that you provided to them when you created your account. So remember that. Now, if you select the request for fee waiver, what documents do you have to send in? Well, if you remember on your College Board account, we had told you that in order for you to receive your college application fee waivers, you would have to access your College Board account. Your fee waivers for application are in your College Board, meaning they're available to you if you have taken your SAT. So again, we will send those at a different date. But again, once you submit your application, if you requested for a fee waiver, you need to go to College Board, print out those waivers from your College Board, and send them out to A&M or any university that you're applying to that requires that you submit your fee waiver. But that's how that works. If you're confused with any of this, let me know and I can help you through the steps. The first step is completing your application and submitting. After that, we check your application status to see what documents are missing. And then whatever documents are missing, I will help you get access to those documents and send them over to A&M. But again, guys, that's pretty much it with Texas A&M. University of Texas application is very similar to this process. It's very little different from this one. But again, that's the process for A&M. I'm gonna go over to my account dashboard. And if you notice, like I told you, your application ID, when you send in your payment, if you choose to send money order, it's right here. Okay, and this one tells me that I left off on the final. It tells me where I'm at, and it tells me whether I have submitted or not, which obviously I have not. But again, that's how you complete the Texas A&M application. As always, remember to save those essay topics on a separate document so that you can go back and write your essays and then come back and submit them into your application tab. But other than that, like I said, that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, please send me an email or send me a Remind 101 message. For transcripts, if you're needing official transcripts, reminder that myself, you can send me an email or Remind 101 or contact Miss Tara Timmerman at Tara, Terra, .Timmerman, TIMMAN at bryanisd.org. Send her an email, let her know what college you need your transcript sent to, your student ID, and whether it can be sent via email. But again, guys, for transcripts, you need to contact Miss Tara Timmerman or send me a Remind 101 email, and I can get that transcript taken care of for you. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it very useful. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.